Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing alright out there. I'm doing pretty good myself. Just wanted to do what I talked about before. Some of you saw one of my previous videos where I was talking about doing a music Monday. Just kind of on Mondays do some cool music stuff. Maybe talk about some new releases coming out or that are out. Some things going on in the music industry, things like that. And so the first episode of Music Mondays, I just was gonna kind of tell you guys some of my favorite bands of all time, bands that I've listened to for quite a while, and bands that I still really enjoy listening to. Some of them are no longer, some of them are bands that used to be around that aren't around anymore. Some of them are actually working on new music, and some of them are like new bands, new artists just now coming out. And as far as genre and me, I listen to a huge variety of music. I like pretty much any kind of music. I think that people who are musicians, people who write music, write lyrics, and can put it all together and make amazing songs, amazing music, I think they're just wow. Because it takes some effort. Because I dabble around a little bit with my my app that I have, Soundtrap. Yeah, it's called Soundtrap, and it's just a bunch of music loops, and you can add your own music in with it. You can put in voice. You can do whatever you want to with it. And so I dabble around with that a little bit, and I've made a few songs myself. It's just music, and it's quite a task. I mean, it takes a lot, and to actually write, I've never been able to read music. I took piano lessons when I was a little girl, and I learned to play a couple of songs, but nothing major. You might see Shaggy wandering around back here. He's hanging out with me tonight. He might start barking here in a little bit if he doesn't get any attention, but that's little Shaggy. I'm actually going to do a video here pretty soon about Shaggy. He's lived a pretty interesting life. He'll be 19 years old in November, and I've had him since he was about 4 or 5 weeks old, and he's been all over the place with me. He's traveled lots of places, but I'm going to do a video on him actually, and tell you guys, introduce you all to Shaggy, because he's really had an interesting little life. He's like my little emotional support dog, and he's been a lot of help to me. He's really always been there when I needed that extra little bit of support or whatever, and he's just a wonderful little dog. But that's another whole video. We'll dedicate a whole video to Shaggy, just to introduce him to you. But as I was saying, genre, I like everything. There's hardly any music that I don't like, or at least appreciate. And no matter what kind of music it is, whether I like it or not, I think that there's so many talented people out there, and I respect all of them. And I don't know, it's just amazing to me. Like I said, just making a little loop music is hard enough. But I did take piano lessons when I was a little girl, and I just learned to play a couple of songs, but I can read notes a little bit to play, but not really. I just play more by ear and just listen to something, and then I kind of play it. I try to anyway. I definitely don't duplicate it, but I do okay though. With some of my music that I make with the loops, I do some keyboard stuff on it, but that's about the extent of it. And as far as writing the lyrics, I write lyrics. I write rhymes. My rhymes probably don't fit traditional songs. They probably wouldn't have a lot of standing power with just what I write. Someone will have to kind of tweak it a little bit to make a song out of it. But I do write some songs, some song lyrics, and I've been told that some of them are pretty good. But you know how us creative people are. We just not so sure about it. Too critical of ourselves sometimes, and I am guilty of that myself. But I do thank the good Lord above for giving people talent, including myself. I think writing and all of that stuff is definitely a gift from God. And so I am thankful for the talent that I have. But anyway, getting back to genres, I really, like I said, there's not a whole lot that I really dislike. So if you have any song suggestions or any favorite artists or bands or anything like that, shoot them my way. Leave a comment. Tell me who I should be listening to. Tell me who I should check out. And you may like some of these artists that I like, some of these bands that I like. You may not have heard of some of them. I do like pretty lesser known bands. I like a lot of lesser known bands and new artists. I like new up and coming artists. So I'll just tell you guys some of my favorite bands. I wrote these down because I had to think about it a lot, and I had to. This is just a very tip of the iceberg list. There are so many bands that I just loved pretty much my whole life. I was like, I think I got a record player on my 3rd birthday. It's one my dad had, and he just passed it on to me. It's a little record player, and he had a lot of albums, and my uncle had a lot of music albums and things, and so I just acquired a bunch of albums and a record player when I was like 3 years old or so. I took very good care of it. I didn't scratch any of my records too much, and I've been in love with music pretty much my whole life. My dad was a huge music buff. I guess that's where my name Melody came from, and maybe that's why I like music so much, is because I'm just meant to. It's my purpose in life, is to love music. And so yeah, I love music. It's, people say music saved my life. Well, I say God saved my life through music. And so I do feel like music really talks to the soul. And so I like just all kinds of music. But my very favorite band in the world ever, always, is a lesser known band called Digital Summer. They were really special. As far as I know, they're not working on anything new right now, but I'm not really exactly sure who gets the proceeds to the music that they did have. There's been some issues with them as far as legal issues and things like that, and not really their fault. But anyway, they're an amazing band. They're all amazingly talented musicians, and I really miss their music a lot. The lead singer is very special to me. It's like my best friend in the world, and it's hard. We don't get to communicate a whole lot. We don't get to talk to each other a whole lot, but that connection is still there, and I just love their music. Just amazing. And it's just, they've had some things going on that they really couldn't talk about, and really didn't want to talk about. So, but anyway, I had the pleasure of actually being invited out on the road with them for a while when they were touring back in 2012, 13, 14, around that area. And yeah, I had a really good time. It was probably the best time of my life was out there on the road. And got to meet some really nice people and just had a blast. It's Digital Summer. I actually have on a Digital Summer t-shirt today. And yeah, I love them. Amazing musicians, amazing writers, great band. And the lead singer and his brother Ian, they actually had another side project with the drummer. It was called Tragedy Machine, and it was kind of hard to put in a category genre. It was kind of electronic, but just really amazing music. If you ever get a chance to listen to some Tragedy Machine, check it out, because they're really good. Another band that I really, really love and recently got to go and see in concert, which I haven't been to a concert in years because of some things that happened to me personally, and I just couldn't find the, just couldn't get myself to go to concerts for several years. But I did go to my first concert in quite a while, and it was Smash Into Pieces. Smash Into Pieces is, they're amazing. Live, they were fantastic. And the lead singer, Chris Adam, is kind of similar. His vocals are kind of similar to Kyle's from Digital Summer, so that may be one reason why I love them so much, but they're really good in their music varies from just all sorts of different things, which I like a band that kind of spreads out and shows talent in all different genres, you know. I like bands that kind of cross over and do different things a lot. Some people don't. Some people like their favorite band to stick with one sound and not change that sound. But to me, I like bands to kind of stretch out and try different things occasionally. So Digital Summer, Tragedy Machine, Smash Into Pieces. Another band, of course, is Shinedown, one of my local bands that I used to go and see a whole bunch. He was with a band, Brent Smith was with a band called Dreve, and they were a local band here, and pretty much every time I saw Brent, I would give him a big hug and I'd say, dude, you're going to be famous someday. And he made it, and I'm so proud of him. So happy for him. Another band that was a local band that I loved a whole bunch, and their music's hard to find because they didn't never have a contract, or they never really were, you know, out there too much. They were mostly a local band. They did concerts here locally with Shinedown, or not with Shinedown, but with Dreve, and also with like 10 Years and Keith Wallen from Breaking Benjamin. They did shows with his band called Copper once in a while. It was just, you know, we had an amazing rock scene when I lived close to Knoxville. And yeah, some really great bands came out of Knoxville. Some of them made it, some of them didn't. Unfortunately, the lead singer of Galaxy, Scott Oxendine, super cool guy, super talented guy. He was amazing. He actually passed away a few years ago from a heart problem. Yeah, it was a total shock. Still sometimes listen to Galaxy's music and I'm just like, I just can't even believe it that Scott is gone. So Galaxy, 10 Years, of course, since they were a local band. I love early 10 Years especially. The music was really, really good. One of my favorite bands in the whole entire world because they're so fun and they're so just amazing. Super nice guys. Love all the guys in Nonpoint. Nonpoint is one of my favorite bands ever. I just love Nonpoint. And I've been on Shiprocked with them a couple of times. We all went bowling and got to bowl with the guys from Seven Dust and Nonpoint and Mark Tremonti and some of the other really awesome people and their wives. And it was fantastic. Just loved it. Seether. I love Seether. Seether's really fantastic. And Seven Dust, of course, Lejean and all the guys there, just amazing. And yeah, super cool band, Seven Dust. Days of the New, back when Days of the New was around, I really liked Days of the New. Like I said, some of these bands are no longer. Some of them have gone on and joined other bands and doing other things now, but Days of the New was a really good band. Parabel. I don't know if you've ever heard of Parabel. Actually, I have on my Parabel hat right now. Parabel is, the lead singer is Kevin Madison, and Kevin Madison was from Evans Blue. I'm sure a lot more of you are familiar with Evans Blue than you are Parabel, but if you liked Kevin Madison back then and when he was in Evans Blue, you should really check out Parabel. Super good band. Lifehouse. You guys remember Lifehouse? I love Lifehouse. And Hoobastank. They were a little bit like Lifehouse. I really liked Hoobastank and the Goo Goo Dolls. They were great. And I think they actually... Did I see somewhere the other day where they had something new out? I can't remember. It seems like the Goo Goo Dolls was working on some stuff. Linkin Park, of course, you know. Linkin Park. What can you say about Linkin Park? It's just, wow. I couldn't even begin to say enough about Linkin Park. Love Linkin Park. Taproot. I love Taproot. They were actually on one of the tours I was on with Kyle and Digital Summer. Also, Nonpoint was too. They were on the tour with them, and I loved every second of it. I made sure I was out there listening to every concert, every chance I got. NFX. NFX is just super good, and their music is totally usable if you want to use it. They don't have any restrictions against using their music. If you want to use it in your videos, whatever you want to do, they don't have any copyright on any of their music. So if you want some really cool music for your vlog videos or anything like that, go check out NFX. NEFFEX. NFX. Super good. Here a little change from that. Gareth Emery. I love Gareth Emery. I've watched his concerts so many times during 2020. He actually had some online concerts that you could attend. They were like $10 or something like that, and they were so good. And his laser shows are amazing. But during 2020, he had to record it from his house in California. So if you watched those concerts, they were actually filmed right out by his pool and everything. It was actually very cool. The laser lights. I can imagine that neighborhood when he was doing his laser light shows. I'm sure the neighbors were like, "What in the world is going on?" But I love Gareth Emery and all the amazing artists that he gets to sing for him on his music. He takes them on tour with him too sometimes, like Emmy Hewitt. I love Emmy Hewitt. She has an amazing voice. Lenny's amazing too. I love her. And Christina Novelli, I love her too. But just some amazing people that sings with the EDM artists are amazing. One of my other favorite DJs, EDM artists, is Armin Van Buren. I love his music too. I mean, there's a lot of them out there. I could go on for days and days about all the EDM artists I like, but we'll leave it at that for right now. And then something totally different, Yanni. I love Yanni. I love his music. Yeah, one of Yanni's songs is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I'm going to do another video. I'm going to do a separate video of my favorite songs of all time. Because sometimes, you like maybe one song of an artist and you really, it's good. It's good. You respect them for doing it and everything like that, but they're not like your favorite artist or whatever, but they have like a song that is like one of your favorite songs. That's kind of the way some of the artists are for me, and that's why I didn't put them on my favorites list, but there are many more favorites. Believe me, there are a ton of favorites that I didn't put on here, but Yanni, I love Yanni. And there's a new artist that plays piano that I just found, and his name is Juriva, I guess is how you say it. I'm not really even sure how you pronounce it, but it's Jurrrivh. And he's a piano composer, and wow, his music is really good. Also Josh Groban. I love Josh Groban. I love all of his music. I love his piano playing. I love his lyrics. I love his voice. Just love Josh Groban. Styx, back from the old days. I love Styx. One of my favorite bands of that era. Dolly Parton, of course, I have to add that. Not just because This is close to where I lived. But yeah, I love Dolly Parton. Emma Hewitt, and oh yeah, I said Emma Hewitt and Lenny and Christina Novelli. They're always performing with EDM artists. 12 Stones. I love 12 Stones. On my other channel, you can actually see some concert footage, quite a bit of concert footage of 12 Stones, because they were on tour with Digital Summer 2 when I was out there on the road with them, and got to know these guys pretty well. Played beer pong with them a couple of times. Of course, I didn't actually drink anything, but it was fun to play beer pong. Paul Mccoy, he's got a great voice, and he's just a great character. I just love Paul McCoy, lead singer. Godsmack, of course. Love Sully. Sully Erna is just, wow, he's probably in my top 5 favorite vocalists too. I just love Sully's voice. The song Scars, that's one of my favorite songs of all time, but like I said, I'll do a separate video for my favorite songs of all time. Disturbed. I love David Draymond's voice also. There's a I wouldn't really call them progressive instrumentalists, but they're, I guess, along the lines of progressive type music, but it's called God is an Astronaut, and they're pretty cool too. I use their music a lot to write to, like writing my books and writing poetry and things like that. I like to listen to that kind of music to write to. So I write a lot to God is an Astronaut. Nathan Wagner, he's like a YouTube star, and he is just fantastic. He has this really haunting, different kind of voice, and his lyrics are fantastic also. Nathan Wagner, he's super good. Within Temptation, they're kind of melodic, heavy metal type music. I love Within Temptation. And Nightwish also. A lot like Within Temptation. They're pretty similar. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. I love Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. They have some really good songs together. And there's a new country artist. He's not signed yet. He's just independent, but he's super good. His name is Hayden Kaufman. And yeah, he's really, really good. You should check him out. His latest one is called Have One Anyway, I think. I don't know. He does country music, but super good. I really like him a lot. And the Backstreet Boys. I like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and One OK Rock and One Republic. I love all those bands too. Citizen Soldier is one of my favorite newer bands. Their new album is just fantastic. Love their lyrics. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Citizen Soldier. They're coming up pretty good. The Cure. I love The Cure. That's one of my favorite songs. And The Cult. And John Legend. I really like John Legend. And he has a song, another one of my favorite songs of all time. It's called Minefields. And he sings it with Faucia. Is that how you say her name? I never can say her name right. Faucia. I love that song. Fouzia, I think is how you spell her name. Faucia. Minefields. If you have never heard that song, go check it out. It's absolutely beautiful. And the video is beautiful too. There's snow in it. I love snow. Depeche Mode. I love Depeche Mode. And there's a band that does like cover tunes, but they also have some of their own songs too, but it's called Voice Avenue. Boice, Voice Avenue. They do a lot of really cool covers, and he has a really good voice. I love his voice. And the Broken Veil. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Broken Veil or not, but they got some new songs out also. They're really good. And Breaking Benjamin. I love Breaking Benjamin. And their guitarist Keith Wallen is, like I said, he's from Knoxville, and his band was called Copper. They were super good too. And Keith also has a solo project out, and he was just on tour. He may still be on tour, I'm not sure, but He was doing solo tour. Super good, super nice guy. Broken Iris. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not, but they're really good too. I don't think they have a song that I don't like. And then there was a band a few years ago. Some of you may remember it, some of you may not, but it was called Dead Letter Circus. They were really good. They had a really unique kind of different sound. Another band too called Under the Flood. Their singer Dave was another one of my very favorite vocalists ever. I loved Dave's voice, and their lyrics were good, and they also had one of my favorite songs of all time. And I Empire. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of them or not, but I love I Empire too. Super good. Oh, and there's another guy that does like covers. He does a metal style. His name is Dan Vasc, V-A-S-C, and he's super good too. He's like a YouTube star, but he does some amazing covers. I love his voice too. And some of the Bon Jovi era type bands, 80s hair band type bands that I really liked were Journey, The Foreigner, Pat Benatar, Bon Jovi, of course, Cinderella, Europe, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Nazareth. Nazareth also has one of my favorite songs of all time. Halloween, Guns N' Roses, Poison, Aerosmith. And when I used to work at Disney World. I worked at MGM Studios for 5 years. I think it's Disney Studios now or something, I don't know. They've changed it like 3 times, but anyway, I worked there years ago. And I worked in the backstage restaurant, was where the production crews would eat, and all the stars would come in to film movies and things like that would come in there to do movie premieres and things like that. So I got to meet a lot of those people that came in for that. But I also worked in a restaurant that was in the park. It was part of the park, and it was called the Soundstage Restaurant. And I remember Steven Tyler. I used to bring his family in there occasionally for the character breakfasts that we had. I got to meet him a couple of times. He was super nice. Sabotage. They were a band from, they played a lot of local gigs down in Florida when I lived in Florida. And they're also part of Sabotage is now Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Super nice guys. Also, I've met pretty much all of Sabotage, Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Meatloaf, of course, I love Meatloaf. Super good artist. He was very talented. Blackmore's Night, which is Richie Blackmore. I think his name's Richie Blackmore. Yeah, they're super good too. They just came out with a new album recently. And Poets of the Fall. I don't know if you've ever heard them or not. They have a song called Cradled in Love, and they're really good too. They're kind of cinematic rock, I guess you'd call it. And Silence of September. They're a good band. I haven't heard anything new from them in a while, I don't think. Three Doors Down, of course. I love those guys too. Crossfade. Culture Club and Boy George, you know. I love Culture Club. I'm a chameleon. You know, probably another one of my favorite songs of all time. I love that song. Prince and Michael Jackson. I loved both of them. Oh, and there's another new guy too that I was on Instagram the other day. You know how Instagram has those things that pop up that say recommended for you or sponsored or whatever. This guy popped up, and he's really, really good. He's amazing. He actually has 2 channels on YouTube. One of them is his music, and the other one is kind of how to, he like writes, produces, he does everything with his own music, and he has a channel where he kind of helps people to do the same thing. So that's pretty cool. But his name is Andrew Southworth. And he is super good. I went from Instagram when I got the notification, you know, a suggestion for me. I went to YouTube and I listened to all of his songs, and I don't think he had even one that I didn't just love. And he's offering, like I said, the other website where he tells, you know, how to promote yourself, how to be, you know, really good on Spotify and things like that. It just kind of helps out people that are just starting out. I Prevail, they're a little bit heavier band. They actually have some new stuff out right now too. And then I really like this guy called Peyton Parrish, and he's kind of a Viking. And I love Viking music. There's just something about Viking music that I just love. But he's got some new material out too that's just fantastic. The Black Veil Brides. I really like the Black Veil Brides. I've liked them for a long time. And Slipknot has one of my favorite songs of all time. I don't like a lot of Slipknot. I do like some of Slipknot, but one of my favorite songs in the world ever is Snuff. I love that song. The lyrics, everything about that song is just amazing. The Killers and Brandon Flowers. They're from Arizona. They have some really, really cool Christmas videos. Every year, almost every year at Christmas time, they do a new Christmas video, and they're so good. I love their Christmas videos. Brandon Flowers is another one of my favorite vocalists. Starset. I wasn't a huge Starset fan when they first started, but I've come to like them a lot better. In fact, they were at the concert with Smash Into Pieces, and I didn't even stay to see Starset, believe it or not. I went to see Smash Into Pieces, and I saw them and a couple other bands, and then I was just like, I think I'm gonna go. It was so hot in that club. People were passing out, and it was super hot in there, so I didn't stay for Starset. But they do have a new song with Breaking Benjamin. That's just fantastic. Love it. So you might want to check that out if you haven't listened to the new Starset and Breaking Benjamin song. Soilwork. I think they have something new coming out too. They've been around for a while, but I think they have a new one coming out. And Cold, the band Cold, they have something new coming out soon. Like I said, once I do this initial one, I'm going to start doing like more in depth of, you know, newer music and what's going on and things like that. Teddy Swims. I don't know if you've heard of him. He does some cover tunes, does some country music, he does all kinds of stuff, but he just recently did a song with Illenium, I-L-L-E-N-I-U-M, Illenium, I guess that's how you say it. I don't know. It's kind of EDM music, but it's Teddy Swims singing, and it's fantastic. You should check that out if you haven't already. It's super good. So yeah, I think that's all of them I could think of at the time. I thought what I might do sometime too is go through I have a ton of my favorites lists on YouTube, and I thought maybe we could sort of go through my favorites lists and cover some of that kind of stuff. And like I said, if there's new stuff coming out, I'll tell you guys about that, what I like that's coming out and stuff. And I guess that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, this is just the initial one. Like I said, if you have bands that you like, artists that you like, that you think I should listen to, or that you really, really like and just like promoting or supporting or whatever, just let me know and I will check them out. I will check anything out, basically. I might not get to them right away sometimes, but I always put them in my listen to later list. And then I'll spend some time going through my listen later lists. And then, of course, sometimes, you know, you end up falling down the rabbit hole because you'll hear a band that you really, really like. And then you're like, oh, I gotta go see what else they do. And you end up listening to them. And then some other band you listen to all the time, you haven't listened to in a while, will pop up. And you'll be like, oh, I do listen to some of that. And then you just end up, you know, just hours and hours later down some rabbit hole on YouTube that you just really don't even know how you got there. But that's how I found a lot of the new artists that I like. A lot of people that I've never heard of. I've found them by following the breadcrumbs of YouTube and ending up down the rabbit hole somewhere. So, like I said, just, you know, have a listen to some of these bands. Let me know what you think about them. If you really, really like them, I would say, you know, just check out all their music. And yeah, if you can afford to support, you know, if you can afford to buy merchandise, if you can afford to go out see their shows when they come to your area, or if you can afford to buy their CDs or whatever you can afford to do. A lot of the bands and artists now have, you know, have ways that you can subscribe to them and support them and stuff. If you can afford that, that's wonderful, because I know that they can use all the support that you can possibly give them. And like I said, a lot of these bands aren't even around anymore, so there's really no way to support them, because you don't really know where the music's going, or the money for the music's going to, or anything else. Yeah, if they're a still active band or whatever, go out there and support them and help them out a little bit, because honestly, I think what they do is really amazing. And surely there's, you know, I think there's some kind of music out there for absolutely everybody. And some people might not like listening to music at all. They might, you know, think it's noise or whatever, but I love, like I said, I love music, and I'm up for checking out anything. If you're an up-and-coming band out there and you want to shout out or whatever, you want me to listen to your music, just drop me a comment, and I will be glad to check it out. So yeah, I guess that's it for the first Music Monday. There he is. There he is in all his beauty. All his 19 years of beauty sleep. So, yeah, so I guess that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will check out some of these bands and find your new favorite band, or like I said, let me know of some new bands, some new music, some new artists to listen to. So I guess that's it for my first episode of Music Monday. Like I said, I'm end up doing one on my favorite songs, and do one on some other stuff too. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. And thank you all for watching, and I hope God blesses all of you, and I hope you all find a beautiful view out there. So thanks for watching, you guys. See you on the next video.